Hey everybody, welcome back to today's video. We're going to be talking about Tipster, famous, well, more so irrelevant internet lolcow, Tipster. So he recently deleted all of his drama, all of his true crime videos, almost everything actually that was on his channel. All that's left is a couple Resident Evil VODs, which is ironic since he actually looks like Pluto from RE Dead Aim. And in light of the situation, I decided, why don't we talk about some weird things Tipster has done and why he probably deleted everything, because my theory is he doesn't want to face any more backlash for the multiple times he's done weird, creepy things, defended people for creepy things. You'll see it as we get on throughout the video. So let's start off with a video that was luckily archived, and I'll have this linked in the description of the video as well. Tipster defends lolicon art for his e-girl. Oh boy, we can't wait to get into this one. And I hope y'all remember this Donkey Kong level. It's gonna be important later. Of course it is with Tipster.
Respond to the situation. Hey everyone, Tipster here, and I wanted to take a moment to respond to the situation that unfolded on Twitter a few days ago and kind of give my thoughts on the matter. In the past, when situations have gone on involving me, I have just kind of taken it laying down and allowed people to kind of come to their own conclusions or whatever, and I've decided I'm not going to do that this time. There is far too much misinformation and misrepresentation of this situation going on, some of which is bad faith, and some of which is purely based off of ignorance. And as a result, people are coming to conclusions about my character and who I am as a person that aren't even remotely accurate, and I want an opportunity to clear that up. Now, I understand that not everyone uses Twitter here, and trust me, your life is much better for it. Twitter is a very cancerous place, and the last place any kind of discourse should take place, which is kind of part of the problem in this particular situation.
So already we're going in strong. The reason Tipster is saying that he hates Twitter for public discourse, yeah, I hate Twitter too. I think it sucks. The reason he particularly thinks this though is because people called him out for defending Loli. And later on it's going to be revealed that, oh, it was Shotokan, which is just the male equivalent of Loli, yet he tries to do this game of semantics where he's like, well, actually it wasn't Loli, it was Shotokan, so I'm in the clear, when he still defended what is basically drawn CP of a child character. Regardless of whether it was a male or a female, it's just as bad, and he still defends it to this day, which we're going to see later on as well.
But anyway, on Twitter there was a big commotion that started surrounding a friend of mine known as Rum, a picture she liked, and my defense of her regarding this picture. Now I get it, some of you are all probably already confused. How does liking a picture cause drama? Well, the argument was made that this picture may be inappropriate.
Not may be inappropriate, was inappropriate. It was drawn Shotokan of a minor in a thong and little bikini top. That is not appropriate. You cannot defend that, dude. That is not okay.
That this picture may be qualified as something known as Loli. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Loli, Loli is anime-inspired art depicting children, and where that becomes an issue is when these pictures depict a child in an inappropriate manner. So some of the people
pulled out a fucking textbook definition on us, as if that somehow helps his argument in any way.
People had seen the picture that she liked and that it was in her likes on Twitter, took issue with it and interpreted it to be Loli. Now, for obvious,
not interpreted to be, it was drawn CP of a minor. That is not okay. And you're gonna argue that it's not lolicon, but then later when you find out it's Shotokan, you use that to play a game of semantics where you're like, well, I never defended Loli. You defended Shotokan, which is just male equivalent of Loli. It's just as bad. There's no reason for you to be defending it, but you did anyway.
I cannot show the picture here, but the only thing I will say is that...
Wow, you can't show the picture here. I wonder why. Could it be because that image is inappropriate and not something you'd want to show? I wonder why that would be, Tipster.
Fully nude picture, and it was not depicting a child.
They were in a thong and a lacy top. It was a child character, a young boy in that outfit. That is not okay. No matter how you try and phrase it, Tipster, you look like a creepy weirdo right now.
The only thing I will say is that it was not a fully nude picture, and it was not depicting a child engaged in any kind of sex act. It was a questionable picture for sure, but somewhat ambiguous in my opinion.
Questionable. I wonder why it was questionable, Tipster. Are you gonna say why? No, because you have to dance around it. You gotta play this little game of semantics to get past why everybody is telling you this is a bad image. This is not something you want to be liking. This is not something you want to be defending. It is a child character in an inappropriate outfit in an inappropriate camera shot. Drawn. And whether it was real or it was a drawing, it's just as bad. Because that is predatory. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's pedo shit. And you're defending it.
At the time. But a bit of a conversation regarding this image started taking place in some of the sub-communities on Twitter. And some of the people having these conversations were starting to present an opinion of my friend in a negative light because of this picture being in her Twitter likes.
Yeah, it's weird and creepy. They're gonna mention that. You don't need to run and defend your e-girls and your friends every time, Tipster. You've shown the ability to not do that in the past. For those who don't know, Tipster has basically completely disavowed Bo Blacks and most of the commentary community that used to be his friends, as well as a lot of the old gaming community back in the day that he was part of, reformatted his channel like 2, 3, maybe even more times than that, to be honest. And now he's trying to go back to gaming content after a short stint in true crime. So he's just trying to like run away from the situation nowadays. He's deleted this video. He's trying to basically hide that he ever did this, and it's kind of pathetic.
Now, at the time, I wasn't aware this was happening. I literally had no idea this was going on at all. But when she reached out to me to discuss this, I became aware of it. And needless to say, I know my friend. I know they aren't into that kind of shit. I know they aren't a bad person. So of course, I had something to say about the matter. And on Twitter, I said the following. I see the usual suspects are trying to call someone out for, quote, liking Loli, unquote, when they don't know what the fuck Loli actually is. Some things never change. Now, the reason I said this was twofold.
You say that while being absolutely terrible at discerning what is and isn't Loli. But the way you say that, even if you were a person who were able to do that, that only makes you look worse. Because you're saying, like, some people don't know what Loli is, shaking my head. As if you're, like, the fucking expert on it. That comes off as extremely suspicious, dude. Makes you look really bad. But even if you take it the other way, which is like, some people just don't know what it means, and I'm here to educate and show them. Well, you did a terrible job of that, because you got that completely wrong. Even if it is Shotokan and not Lolicon, it's still drawn CP of a minor, which is disgusting and should not be defended. Whether you want to say it was fully nude or not, it was a very, very inappropriate, drawing, dude. It does not look good. You do not want to be defending it. Yet you still continue to.
First, the obvious. A friend of mine was in the crossfire, and I did what any good friend would do. I defended them. And second, I have seen conversations about Loli happen in this community in the past that were insanely overblown. I have literally seen people cast out of this community over liking anime art that was completely harmless. Yet for some reason, this community saw an issue.
The more this video goes on, the more he sounds like a fucking creep.
With it and went on the attack. And as a result of those incidents in the past, I kind of have a real personal gripe with the commentary community and their take on this issue, which I think is often a really ill-informed take. So I tweeted out this tweet, and this sparked a massive debate between myself and the rest of the community about whether this image was Loli or not. And to sum up my position as best as I possibly fucking can, my position was literally just this. Is this image Loli? And if so, why? And oddly enough, that somehow got twisted into Tipster is a Loli defender, Tipster likes Loli, Tipster is a fan of Loli, and none of that is accurate to anything.
If none of that is accurate, then why are you defending this image right now? Because you're saying it was okay for your friend to like it. You're saying that you think the image is weird, but you're not going to clarify why. You think it was ambiguous what the age was, when it's very obviously a drawing of a child. You're either only doing that to defend your friend, or you're genuinely just creepy and you're trying to look for excuses for it. So no matter how we look at this situation, you come out looking extremely bad. And that is why the commentary community, the drama community, whatever you want to call it, when in reality it's basically just everybody who's looking at this and they hear you say this and they're like, you know what? It sounds like he's defending Loli, because you are. That's what you're doing. And it's not good for you. It's only burying you further down into the fucking pile. And this is why your channel got completely lost in the algorithm. Because a while back, Tipster was complaining that like you can't find his channel anymore when you search it up. You want to know why that is? Because he's irrelevant. Nobody watches him. Because he ruined his own channel. He just kept getting into stupid drama, doing things like this, and it made nobody want to associate with him. Because why the fuck would you?
Did I said it all? Literally none of it. People started going nuts on Twitter about how it was a lolicon, and people started firing up live streams to dissect every word, when all I was really asking was, is this really Loli? Anyway, before I move on, let me make this crystal fucking clear. I do not like Loli content. I do not approve of the creation or consumption of Loli content, and I do not defend Loli content under any circumstances.
And we're supposed to believe your word on any of this. Why? Because everything you've said so far only makes people believe the opposite of what you're saying now. This only seems like you're trying to cover your ass while still making your argument, which is a stupid argument.
I have never defended the existence of Loli content, and I never will.
You're doing that right now, and you're gonna do it again in the future.
Period. Now, we did eventually come to the conclusion that this was actually Loli based on some digging we did on the account that originally posted it. Well, actually, it was Shota. Basically Loli, but for male characters, for those of you who are unaware. But
So it was exactly what you're claiming. You even admit it here yourself. It's the male equivalent of Loli. Yet you're gonna act like this proved you right. Like this showed everybody else was wrong. They were jumping to conclusions. It's still just as bad. Whether it's a female or a male character, if they're underage and being drawn like that, it's bad. It is not good. It looks terrible on your part for defending it like you are right now.
we were basically able to find translated tweets of the artist referring to it as a young boy. Which is also kind of funny in its own way, because everyone was arguing about...
How is that funny, Tipster? That is not funny. That should be horrifying to you. Because you were defending that image and trying to defend your friend for liking that image, because you're not going to show it. But you yourself have publicly and continue to publicly say that your friend did nothing wrong by liking that image. And the reason people, it's not just because they like that one image, it's because they had a history of liking images like that, which are highly inappropriate. But you're never going to talk about that, are you? Because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you associate yourself with weird people and you yourself say weird shit that makes you look very bad, but you don't want to deal with the stigma of that, so you try and deflect everything that comes your way to try and make yourself look good. And that's why nobody takes you seriously. Because you can't actually say anything of substance. You can only repeat what others around you say, or when you do say something that's an original thought, you say shit like this and make yourself look like an idiot. Either an idiot or a complete creep. I mean, pick, but either way, you don't look good.
How it looked like a little girl, and it was actually a boy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still inappropriate, but this is why I was asking the questions I was asking. We knew fuck all about the character that was depicted in this image, and yet judgment calls were being made.
Why is it inappropriate, Tipster? Are you gonna clarify? No, you're not. You're gonna try and, like, still keep it under the rug, even though you've already admitted in this video that it's Shotokan, which is the male equivalent of Loli, and just as bad. You are still trying to make it seem like, oh, your friend made an innocent, harmless little mistake. They have a history of doing this. And they did it again, and you're still defending them for it. And that's why people are mad, because you're making yourself look like a lolicon with everything you say throughout this video.
Made about it, and I was just looking for a bit of clarification just to be sure. And once we got that clarification, I conceded my fucking point.
So you're gonna show this tweet, but you're not gonna show all the tweets of you saying that Rem never did it and is a good person and would never do that shit. And then later on, you're also gonna start defending Rem after this situation. When you start defending another person, you're gonna mention him again. And you're gonna be like, yeah, they never did anything wrong. Which either means that you've completely forgot that they did this, like an idiot, which I think is highly unlikely because of what you also do. But my take on it, that I think is most likely the outcome, is now that Tipster is defending Vosh, he was also more confident in defending this too.
Judgment calls were being made about it, and I was just looking for a bit of clarification just to be sure. And once we got that clarification, I conceded my fucking point and moved on. Done deal. Now, if you want to make the criticism that my argument was a dumb argument to make, fair enough. In hindsight, I wouldn't even disagree with you, mainly because of the way this community acts when it...
So the way he says this is so pretentious. He's saying, I wouldn't even disagree with you if you think my argument was bad. But the way he says it is very telling, because he says, because of the way this community acts about this type of stuff. Here's the thing, Tipster. That's not their issue, it's your issue. If the community as a whole sees this and can unanimously agree that this is weird and you shouldn't be saying this shit because it's really creepy and makes you look like a lolicon, then maybe they might be onto something and proving a point, because you are the only one who is out here doing this. But no, you still have to act like, actually, I was right. The community, they just can't handle a discussion like this, which is so untrue. You're the one who can't handle a discussion like this, because you're literally incapable of having a proper conversation about it without resorting to stupid semantics and trying to, like, weasel your way into a little win when this entire situation is just a complete loss on your part.
Comes to this subject, but even I can own up to my own faults here. This was not an argument that even I am equipped to tackle properly. But in my opinion, my biggest mistake was trying to have this conversation in this community, because they too aren't equipped to tackle.
Your biggest mistake was defending Loli, Tipster, not how this community reacted to it, not that you brought it up to it, but because you were saying dumbass statements and people called you out for it.
Tackled this conversation properly. And the really fucked up thing is that this could have been a very positive and productive learning moment, not just for me, but the entire community.
The thing is, you learned nothing from this moment, though. And the entire community, they did actually learn something. You're a creep and a weirdo, and you shouldn't be trusted. And I think that's the best lesson they could have learned from it, because you are a creep and a weirdo who shouldn't be trusted, and you are irrelevant, and you're going to continue to be irrelevant because you do shit like this. You can't just scrub your channel and think nobody's ever going to see this again. People are going to document this shit. It already has been documented, but people are going to continue to do it, and they're going to continue to call you out for it because it's weird. You are a creepy guy, Tipster. Your defense is not good.
But unfortunately, this community doesn't have the intellectual capacity to have these kinds of conversations. Instead,
Oh my god. Troglodyte Tipster tries to say the community doesn't have the fucking intelligence for this. You're the one who doesn't have the intelligence for this, Tipster. You're absolutely brain dead.
Again, I really want to hit home the point that these people often have no idea what they are talking about when it comes to this topic. Just as an example, as part of this conversation, the topic of chibi art came up, and Doc on the radio, who was chiming in on all of this, didn't even know what chibi art was. Even worse, the people claiming to be experts, who claimed to know what it was, weren't even giving an accurate interpretation of what it is. I mean,
why do they need to understand what chibi is to know what Loli is? They don't... Tipster, you're acting like this is a gotcha, but this doesn't even matter to the context of the situation. You can not know what chibi is and still be able to tell when somebody is drawing a minor, and when it's very inappropriate and creepy. It's not that hard to look at it and be like, yeah, this is gross, this is inappropriate. You yourself say it's weird, it's inappropriate, it's gross, but you never say why. But you know why. You just don't want to say it, because then your entire stupid argument that you're trying to make falls apart, because then you'd have to concede that everybody else was right and you were wrong.
the bar is so low in regards to what qualifies as loli that someone made a thread on Twitter with examples that had fully clothed, non-sexualized characters. And I saw that and I just scratched my head like, how? Like, I'm not even joking. I truly believe these people are not qualified to pass judgment on this issue.
So, random Twitter rando posted that. So you're now saying that that means every other person's argument for why that photo that your friend liked was gross and it was loli, even if it's Shotokan, that's just the male equivalent of loli, so it's basically the same thing. You're playing semantics if you're saying, well, but you defending that and being like, well, look at this. It's trying to, like, deflect and make them look like they can't actually discern the situation when you're the one who can't discern the situation.
Like, at all. But I digress, that's beside the point. The shit that people were getting so wrong about this whole ordeal is insane. For example, Turkey Tom said I was the one who was exposed for liking these kind of images and his chat had to correct him. Keemstar misquoted me, claiming I had a tweet that I would, quote, die on the lolly hill, when that is not what I said at all. In fact, here's what I actually said on a tweet that is still public at this moment. I stand by my take. Rum did nothing wrong.
I stand by my take. They did nothing wrong. I will die on that hill. You know why Keemstar said? Like, because, listen here, I don't like Keemstar either. I think he's a bit obnoxious, and he said some insane shit. But at least he didn't say that Rump and Dump did nothing wrong and that they'll die on that hill, when Rump and Dump liked Shotokan and has repeatedly been seen to like lolly and other images like that, which is disgusting and depraved, yet you want to continue to defend them and say that they're actually a good person and they didn't mean to. You're stupid, Tipster. You're a moron. You look absolute... Oh my god. Your entire argument is absolutely baffling. The fact that you thought anybody would take you seriously with this is insane. This is pathetic.
On that hill. I said this because I truly believed and still believe Rum didn't do anything wrong. She accidentally liked an image while scrolling through her timeline.
It's not an accident when they repeatedly do it. This isn't the first time they've been caught in action doing this shit, dude. This is like the fucking... I don't have a fucking specific number, but it is a repeated instance. This isn't the first time. And even if it was, it's not that hard to discern between a child and an adult. Even if it's a drawing, you can still tell. Your defense sucks, man. This fucking sucks.
Which, by the way, that's another thing. Everyone keeps saying I dived into the situation head first without knowing anything about the situation, and that I hadn't even spoken to her. Dog, I was literally in call with her when I made my initial tweet. As a matter of fact, she contacted me right after her first tweet about it, and we talked for over an hour before I had even said a word about it publicly. Her saying that she didn't talk to me before she posted her first tweet about it somehow got spun into us not talking about it at all. And that's the saddest thing. People were so determined to spin a narrative here that they were misrepresenting everything she said just to get a dunk on me.
Bro, this little detail you're trying to shove in here, this isn't what people are debating you on with this. They're telling you that what you are defending right now and saying that Rum still did nothing wrong when they have repeatedly liked images like this, which are disgusting, and that you're currently defending still to this very moment, despite how much you're saying you're not, that doesn't just make it true, because you are in this moment defending it. You cannot lie about that. We can tell. It's very obvious. You're just trying to look for a way around it. You're saying these people are looking for things to get a dunk on you, when you're the one who's trying to find every possible escape to try and make it look like they're the ones who are in the wrong in the situation, when no, it's you.
And because of that, before I continue, I want to apologize to her regarding this whole ordeal. I want to first apologize that this happened in the first place. The mistake you made was harmless, and it never should have gotten this far. At most, whoever saw it first should have made you aware of it and advised you to unlike the tweet, and it should have just ended there. But instead, we got this. Second, I want to apologize for getting involved, because I can admit it got even bigger because of my involvement. I let my prior frustrations with this community regarding this issue, as well as the fact that you were now being questioned, get the best of me. And as a result, I made it even worse, and for that, I am truly sorry. And third, I want to apologize to you for the people that used and twisted your words to spin a narrative. I know how frustrated you were to see that and how much stress that caused you, and I am deeply sorry that happened. And to all the fucking incels who keep making this about Tipster defending one of his e-whores, first off, she's a friend, and a good one at that. And second, that's a retarded fucking argument.
Dude, what does any of this even have to do with what you did? You're just rambling at this point.
Because I literally gave the same defense to Lyrics last year. Someone who not only doesn't have tits, but also made multiple videos shitting on me.
Now, I'm not going to say what he was looking at was definitive, Loli. I haven't seen what Lyrics was looking at. It could be, it could not be. I haven't seen it. But we're going to see later on that Tipster doesn't do the same. He hasn't seen what Vosh was downloading, and he still was definitively saying it wasn't Loli. I'm going to give Lyrics the benefit of the doubt here. I didn't see the image he was caught looking at, so it might not have been Loli. It could have been, though. So that's going to be an alleged. So Tipster. So even if what he was looking at wasn't Loli and you defended him, what Rum was looking at was still Loli or Shotokan. Either way, still drawn images of a minor that was very inappropriate. You still defended them for it. And you still say they did nothing wrong, which is why people are mad at you. So why did you need to bring Lyrics into it if you're saying that what his wasn't true? Because we know, we have it confirmed that what your friend was looking at was drawn images of a minor. And this isn't the first instance of it, no matter how many times you try and act like it is. So take some responsibility here and own up to your mistake. But no, you're not going to do that. You're just going to play Donkey Kong Country and ramble like a moron.
Anyone who argued in this whole ordeal were so fucked that I'm sure that I'm probably missing some. It was unbelievable. This community has literally shat on people in the past for getting shit wrong. Papa Gut is a good example. He was banished to the fucking Phantom Zone for getting shit wrong, and now he's lucky if he gets 70 live viewers on a good day. But people in this community are just as bad. I get that we're human and we make mistakes sometimes, but y'all fuck this one up so damn bad. It's crazy. And these are just some of the many issues I have had with the commentary community over the course of the past year. And it's the reason for the past year that I have been distancing myself from this community.
Here we are, the real reason Tipster is making this video, to complain about the commentary community. The only thing he seems to know how to do other than defend Loli. Tipster. You've You complain about people not watching your content, not being able to find it, not being able to get access. You're wondering why you're irrelevant. It's because you do this. You only complain about the commentary community, defend Loli, and play video games with no real, input or anything of your own that makes you stand out and look like a smart, good, intelligent, or any kind of person other than a weirdo creep who's sensitive to every fucking thing people say to him. Grow some thicker skin, learn to realize some humility, and admit when you fuck up and move on. It's as simple as. But no, you keep having to defend people for shit like this. You can't learn any lessons from it, and because of that, people keep shitting on you, and that's why you had to delete all your content, because you're wanting to hide the fact that you did shit like this. But people are still gonna know, and they're still gonna make fun of you for it, because this is the only thing you're known for now. You've become basically irrelevant. Not even basically irrelevant. Not even basically irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. That's just the case of it. You barely can hold 500 views on your VODs now. That's pathetic.
Donated to Tipster saying, you and Flamenco should go bowling together. Tipster said last night on stream, no, Flamenco is a pedo. Flamenco's a pedo, Tip.
I mean, Flamenco probably is a pedo, and he's definitely a stalker and a kiwi farmer and a real fucking weirdo.
If Flamenco is a pedo, which, yeah, he definitely is, by that own logic, Vosh would also be a pedo. But Tipster can't realize his logical fallacy there, because he's so hung up on, I'm the moral, righteous person, Vosh did nothing wrong. Yet he's already admitting what Flamenco did is definitely creepy and most likely pedophilia. When Vosh did the same fucking weird shit.
I don't regret what I said about him,
Tipster, what about Vosh?
nor do I take it back.
But what about fucking Vosh? So, I want...
Notice how he was completely silent when Keemstar mentioned Vosh. Almost like he doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that Vosh did the same exact shit. Like you're trying to fucking hide it, Tipster. I wonder why.
Hypocritical fucking scumbags. Fucking delete it. I want them deleted. I want them fucking deleted.
Remember, Mr. Anti-Deplatform Keemstar advocating for people being deplatformed over false pedo and lolicon allegations.
Not false, Tipster. Very much accurate allegations. And are you saying that these people should stay on the platform, Tipster? Are you advocating for them to stay? And there's a reason why Keemstar is against these types of people, Tipster. And I think there's a reason why you're for these types of people, Tipster. And it's very telling. Here's another certified Tipster moment. Damn it, Vosh. None of this would have happened if you just watched porn on your phone like a normal person. So you're Tipster. It doesn't matter if he was watching it on his phone or his computer. What he was looking at was disgusting. If he was looking at it on his phone, it wouldn't make it any better.
Okay, this is psychotic. Are you guys looking at Pornhub on your phones? I'm sorry, I admit to it. If I ever look at porn, it's on a computer. Whether it be Pornhub or anything else, it's on a computer. Why would I look at a phone? Watching porn on your phone is normal? I know, I genuinely don't understand why. You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Keep in mind, this is on Tipster's Twitter. He made this video, added the rain effects, the sad Rick and Morty music, to Vosh opening a porn folder of Lolicon. Does he not see how bad that looks on him? Tipster, you are ruining your fucking everything right now. Here's another case of Tipster being completely silent when people bring up the shit Vosh was doing.
Understandable from the word go. How do you think minor should be defined? I don't know. Age of consent memes are really fucking complicated.
Like, bro, it's not a good 1-2
Age of
combo there.
consent memes?
It's not a good 1-2 combo.
It's complicated, or did I miss?
Pow! Hit him with the CP is good in some cases. Pow! Hit him with the age of consent law is complicated. It's that 1-2 punch. He's got a killer jab.
As I like to quote my good friend Love, what is bro yapping about?
What is I keep thinking understandable from the word go.
So, all of those things that Ethan was saying were things that Vosh has actually unironically fucking said. But Tipster didn't have a single thing to say during all of that. Tipster was just silent as could be. I wonder why.
Hentai and then find out, oh, that's like a 16-year-old girl. Well, fuck that shit. Like, just stay away from hentai. If I can give you guys honest to God advice, stay away from that shit, okay? Because you're asking for fucking.
Why does he sound like he's about to cry here over this? Is this like personally like ruining his life? Oh no, I, the great Tipster, must stay away from hentai. Woe is me. What the why do you sound like you're about to bust into fucking tears, Tipster?
In trouble at that point. So yeah, when it comes to like the stuff that was on Vosh's computer, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. I'm willing to give him the charitability.
You're not okay with that? Because you spend a lot of this time defending it, Tipster. But now, suddenly when people finally fucking called you out and told you you're being a fucking moron, you somehow see the light. But even then, you still have to go back around and give Vosh charitability where he really doesn't deserve it. There is not a chance in hell he downloaded that image because he had to download and save it to his computer. There is no shot he downloaded that without knowing what it was. Alright, everybody. This is a bunch of shit Vosh has actually said. I'm just going to let it play. But in my opinion, this is all I need to hear in combination of seeing the images Vosh has downloaded to 100% say, in my personal opinion. He is a creepy weirdo. He is probably a pedo. His hard drive needs to be searched. And Tipster also needs to be evaluated for defending all of this shit.
Working as hard and fast as we can, and then after we're done, we go back and look over our history chat, and we go, jeez. Some of these girls look pretty young. Okay, I don't give a fuck, alright? I don't care. I still think that, like, Zoophile's wrong with draw stuff. It should be 100%. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be considered child porn be legal. I think that that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent. Yes, 100%.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible.
What if CP is free? If you're not paying for child pornography, then there is no argument in favor of more
Chaos for $5. So would you say the people who purchase child porn are just as bad as the people who sell it? Or no? No, not even slightly. I don't think that you should morally impugn anyone who purchases child porn for the same reason I wouldn't want to be morally impugned for buying clothing from companies that use slave labor to do so.
Alright, so this is AP over 9000, and this is one of Tipster's famous goth mommies that he used to be flirting with on the internet while his wife was in the other room. And she went on stream and said the N-word at one point, and she got banned from the chat and removed, and Tipster disavowed her, and then shortly after let her back in. She's one of the goth mommies again. And then after that, she made her son say the N-word. And that's when Tipster finally was like, okay, I'll get rid of you entirely. So keep in mind, that's the level of shit you have to do for Tipster to finally get rid of you. But as long as you don't do that, he's totally fine with you pulling a Vosh, going horse mode, and looking at drawn children. That is Tipster's A-okay with that. So keep that in mind next time you see one of his videos.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. What? What? I need you to say one thing. Hold on, everyone shut up! Say Smondile is a fucking nigger.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
And with that bomb dropped, I think it's good to end the video here. I think I provided more than enough evidence to provide why I think Tipster is a weirdo and a bit of a creep. And I hope to see y'all in the next one. Have a good day.